Call this meeting to order. Early on today, folks, we had a situation across the parking lot here at District Court. A critical situation where we had to stand by and stay locked up. I just want to recognize all the people that were involved in taking care of that situation. We had the Sheriff's Office, we had Aztec Police Department, Farmington Police Department, Bloomfield Police Department, the FBI, the Fire Department, and the EMS. This goes to show how different departments come together and act as one to keep our community safe. I can't express how grateful I am as a citizen, but also as a county commissioner, of how our departments come together and take care of business when they're called upon. I just want to personally thank you, and the county commission wants to thank you for your service and what you do in protecting our county. Thank you. Now, this meeting is called to order. Ms. Terry, would you do the invocation?
All right, if you'll just pray with me. Heavenly Father, I just thank you for this day that we can come here in freedom and safety, dear Lord. Thank you for the 250 years that we celebrated as a nation and everything that has happened during that time and even before and will happen in the future. I thank you, dear Lord, for all of the people that responded to the situation that was tense and really protected people from any further harm, even the subject that meant harm to themselves. I thank you for them because, Lord, they're out there and anything could go bad at the time, but it turned out in favor of all lives were protected. And dear Lord, I just also pray for water. We desperately need water.
Amen.
We need to be able to continue to water all of our plants and just for drinking water. Thank you for the individuals that are here. I just pray for the commission as we make our discussions and all of the people that are presenting. Lord, just be with us in our decisions. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Ms. Jean, would you lead us in the pledge?
Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. To the regular meeting, I'd like to entertain a motion, the approval of the agenda.
So moved.
Mr. Chair, I might just add that we don't have any changes tonight. So.
Okay, just we don't have any changes. Okay, very good. We don't have any changes. The approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. Moving on to the consent agenda. We've got 9 items on the consent agenda. Item number 1 is consideration of regular meeting minutes for June 9th, 2026. Number 2, consideration of finance check register for June 2026. Number 3, consideration of treasurer check register for June 2026. Number 4, consideration of FY26 budget adjustment number 17, resolution number 26-27-05. Number 5, consideration of contractual changes to ATB Behavioral Health. Number 6, consideration of resolution number 26-27-02, appointing new surplus committee members. Number 7, consideration of projects for state fire marshal grant funding. Number 8, ratification of annual 2026 Emergency Management Performance Grant Program, EMPG, submitted to the state on June 30th, 2026. Number 9, consideration of renewal of proposal number 24-25-03, fire hose and hydrant testing. I'd like to entertain a motion to accept it.
Mr. Chair, I would like to make a motion to approve the 9 consent agenda items.
Very good. Is there a second?
I'll second.
There's a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. New business. Under new business, item number 1, we have 6 items under new business. The first one is consideration of resolution number 26-07-01, recognizing and honoring Purple Heart recipients and designating San Juan County a Purple Heart County. I'd like to pass this over to Commissioner Gary McDaniel so he can go ahead and read the resolution.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And Commission, as you know, last Commission meeting I alluded to this, and for it to be on the agenda, and here we are. So I'm thankful for that. First of all, welcome everybody. We sure appreciate you being here. This resolution number 2627-01 formally recognizes the service and sacrifice of United States military personnel who have been wounded or killed in combat and are recipients of the Purple Heart Medal. Established by General George Washington in 1782, the Purple Heart is the nation's oldest military decoration still in use and is awarded to members of the armed forces who have been wounded or killed in action while serving in the United States. The resolution acknowledges the profound gratitude and respect of San Juan County residents for the men and women who have placed themselves in harm's way to defend the freedoms enjoyed by all Americans. It further recognizes the Purple Heart Trail Program, a national network of roads, highways, bridges, and communities established to honor Purple Heart recipients and preserve awareness of their sacrifices. Approval of this resolution designates San Juan County as a Purple Heart County and affirms the county's commitment to honoring Purple Heart recipients and their families. By joining the Purple Heart Trail Network, San Juan County publicly recognizes the courage, dedication, and sacrifices of wounded and fallen service members while demonstrating ongoing support for veterans and military families throughout the community. And as I understand it, if this passes, San Juan County will be the first county in the state to be a Purple Heart County. So I think that's very, very great. Let me go ahead and read this. San Juan County Resolution number 2627-01, recognizing and honoring Purple Heart recipients and designating San Juan County a Purple Heart County. Whereas General George Washington established what is now known as the Purple Heart Medal in 1782 during the Revolutionary War, and whereas the Purple Heart Medal is the oldest United States military decoration in present use, and whereas the Purple Heart Medal is awarded in the name of the President of the United States to recognize members of the armed forces who are killed or wounded in action against an enemy of the United States or are killed or wounded while held as prisoners of war. And whereas the Purple Heart Trail was established in 1992 as a symbolic and honorary system of roads, highways, bridges, and other monuments to give tribute to Purple Heart Medal recipients. And whereas the residents of San Juan County have the utmost gratitude and respect for all men and women in the armed forces and have placed themselves in harm's way in selfless service to the United States. And whereas San Juan County seeks to honor those men and women who have been killed or wounded while protecting our freedoms by designating itself a Purple Heart County and by joining the Purple Heart Trail Network. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of San Juan County, New Mexico, that San Juan County is designated as a Purple Heart County to honor the sacrifice of those armed forces members wounded or killed in action in service to the United States of America, passed, approved, and adopted this 7th day of July 2026, signed by Sam Gonzalez, Chair, and Lisa Coon, County Clerk. But anyway, first of all, Mr. Chairman, before I go any further in commission, I'd like to make a motion, if I could, that we pass this resolution. We're counting resolution number 2627-01, recognizing and honoring Purple Heart recipients and designating San Juan County a Purple Heart County.
That we approve resolution 2627-01.
Okay.
Okay.
That we approve it.
Okay.
I'll second that.
Okay, there's a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Congratulations. Very good.
And before we go any further, if I could, Mr. Bill Simpkins here in the front row. Bill is with American Legion number 93, and Bill has been instrumental in this. And I know he was going to have another person here today, but he couldn't make it from Oklahoma. But glad Bill is here. And Bill, would you like to say anything on behalf of what just occurred?
Well, yes, Chairman, Commissioners, it's an honor for me to stand here and accept this from the county. It's, been something it happened on Memorial Day. Farmington became a Purple Heart city. It all because of a friend of mine that came here on a retreat I did last August. He's a 3-time Purple Heart recipient in one tour. I'll just briefly mention it because we talked about it last time. He got shot right here in the forehead, shattered his helmet, broke his neck and skull. In the hospital, commander says, we're going to send you home. He says, no, I'm a combat medic. I want to take care of my troops. So he stayed through 3 injuries like that, offered to go home, stayed to finish off his tour. He's the reason that I do what I do, to try to help, recognize these people that have given their life or limbs or whatever has happened to them for the service. So it's an honor to receive this for him and the Military Order of Purple Heart.
I would like to present you with this framed
Thank you,
resolution.
Bill. Thank you for presenting it. I've known Bill for many decades, and thank you for all you do. And on behalf of all of us, we really appreciate you, and thank you.
Thank you very much.
You and
We got this presentation for
your
you, since we can take
people
pictures.
you work with.
Gary, I think you ought to be the one handing this over to him. I think that'd be very appropriate, sir. Thank you.
All right, right here, big smiles. 1, 2, 3. One more. 1, 2, 3. Very good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bill. Okay, moving on to item number 2, consideration of resolution number 26-27-03, a proclamation honoring the Piedra Vista High School baseball team. Commissioner Fortner.
Okay, thank you. All right, so whoever's here from Piedra Vista, would you go ahead and come forward? I know I can see right over here, so if you don't mind, go ahead and come in forward. Thank you for being here. I know that probably people are different places playing, so before I read this proclamation I was going to say, will you introduce yourself and tell me what position you play?
Yes, ma'am. I'm Cody Clugston. I play second base.
Thank you.
Yep.
You can just stand right over there. Thank you.
Basic coordinator, I play center field.
Thank you.
I'm Zach Westford and I play right field.
Right field, okay.
Kate Aragon, and I'm the catcher.
Catcher, all right.
JW Bayless, and I pitch and I play first.
Okay, thank you.
Andrew Cunningham, I play left field.
Left field, all right.
Brady Sandoval, I play first base.
First base, okay.
My name's Ethan Seacrest and I'm an assistant coach.
Thank you for being here.
Tyrell Curtis, I'm also an assistant coach.
Thank you.
I'm Jeff Corrali, I'm the head coach.
Thank you, Jeff, for being here. Thank you each one of you for being here. So it's my pleasure that I was contacted by Carrie Sandoval, and she let us know what this was all about. And I'm a mom of a softball pitcher from Piedra Vista who was a state champ for 4 times herself pitching. So I know the dedication that goes into this, and yours too, Coach. Each one of you, I appreciate it, because it doesn't matter what the weather is. You're up early, you're out late, you're traveling. These are students, they have to make good grades, they want to graduate, because I'm going to guess most of them want to go on to play college sports. Is that kind of the goal?
I have 8 seniors this year. All 8 are going to college and 7 of them are going on baseball scholarships.
Oh, wow.
That is awesome. So
Well done.
yeah, I appreciate it. My one daughter went to Farmington, the other daughter went to PV. So I love our high schools and everything that goes into this. So thank you, young men, for being here. I appreciate it. So at this time, I'm going to read the proclamation that the County Commission has written up and signed. It says, whereas the Piedra Vista High School baseball team won the 2026 New Mexico Activities Association Class A State Baseball Championship on May 16th, 2026. So that's barely over, that's what, about 6 weeks ago? So it's still fresh and exciting. Whereas the Piedra Vista Panthers defeated Cleveland High School, yay, by a score of 10-0. That's big. In the championship game at Lobo Field in Albuquerque, securing the title in a run rule victory. Wow, a run rule victory. Okay, I understand that. Okay. Whereas the Panthers advanced through a highly competitive state tournament, defeating Las Cruces in the quarterfinals, top-seeded Rio Rancho in the semifinals, and Cleveland in the championship game. And whereas this championship marks the 5th state baseball championship in the Piedra Vista High School history, the program's first state since 2014. So that's 12 years. That's probably when you guys were all in kindergarten, about, I'm gonna guess. Whereas the student athlete, coaches, administrators, parents, and supporters of Piedra Vista High School have demonstrated dedication, perseverance, sportsmanship, and excellence, serving as exemplary representatives of San Juan County. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners, San Juan County, New Mexico, hereby congratulates and recognizes Piedra Vista High School baseball team, coaches, and supporters for winning the 2026 NMAA Class 5 State Baseball Championship, for bringing distinction and pride to San Juan County, and be it further resolved that the Board of County Commissioners hereby proclaims July 7th, today, 2026, as Piedra Vista High School Baseball Team Day in San Juan County, New Mexico, in recognition of the team's outstanding achievement in 5th state championship, passed, approved, and adopted this 7th day of July 26, signed by Commissioner Sam Gonzalez. So thank you so much.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the resolution.
So moved.
Is there a second to the?
I'll second.
There's a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion, any opposed? Yeah, motion carried. We have a resolution, Terry, would you have?
Yeah.
Let's go up there and take a
If boy,
picture.
the guys can stand right here and then
We'll
have
move
a stand by
the
you.
podium too.
Get you guys in.
Okay, coach. Okay, you guys come forward.
No hiding.
All right, if you can't see me, I can't see you. So window. Ready, big smiles. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Very good.
Okay, thank you so much. Did you get? Oh, sorry. Who's your club picture? Ah, okay. That's, there you go. Okay, thank you guys so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good job. I think that's pretty neat. Okay, item number 3, moving right along. Consideration of Resolution 26-27-04, recognizing the 25th anniversary of the consolidation of San Juan County Fire and Rescue. Mr. David Vega.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna say, yeah.
Mr. Chairman, Commission, good afternoon. Coming off the heels of a big weekend where our nation just celebrated 250 years of independence, I'm very proud to be able to come to you today as we celebrate 25 years as a consolidated fire department. This year marks a significant milestone for San Juan County Fire and Rescue as we celebrate 25 years of dedicated service to the citizens of San Juan County. Over the past quarter century, our department has grown tremendously. We began as an all-volunteer fire department that has evolved into a professional combination fire department, bringing together the dedication of volunteer and career personnel to provide fire suppression, emergency medical services, rescue operations, and fire prevention throughout our county. This anniversary is not just about the department, it's about the people who built it. I would like to extend my sincere gratitude to the fire chiefs whose leadership shaped San Juan County Fire and Rescue over the past 25 years. Fire Chief Larry Markham, Fire Chief Doug Hatfield, Fire Chief Craig Doherty, and Fire Chief John Moeller. Their vision, commitment, and leadership laid the foundation for the department we proudly serve today. And I am honored, I truly am, to continue building on the legacy they established. And Commission, I believe with this we do have Fire Chief Doug Hatfield. Chief Hatfield, if you would stand up. And then I believe in the back, Chief Moeller and Chief.
Step up, come on up.
And be recognized. These two men mean a lot to me. In 2011, Chief Hatfield hired me away from a different fire department as a captain, and in 2011 was not even in my sphere that I'd have the opportunity to lead this organization someday, and I'm humbled to be here in his presence. And Chief Moeller hired me as a deputy chief and worked directly under him, and I'm just very grateful that they're here and able to celebrate this accomplishment, so thank you. I also want to recognize every past and current member of San Juan County Fire and Rescue, whether you're served as a volunteer or career firefighter for a few years or an entire career. Your dedication, sacrifice, and commitment to serving others have made this department what it is today. Countless lives and properties have been protected because you answered the call, often at a great personal sacrifice. And Commission, if you would allow me to just acknowledge one other person in this room, and I had the pleasure to walk in with her tonight, and that's Susan Rosenbaum. Susan, I'm going to put you on the spot and ask you to stand up. Susan started in 1980 with San Juan County, and for those of you that are math inclined,
it's a long time ago.
That's a long time
ago.
And I just want to recognize Susan. She's been here since day one.
Wow.
And what's even more important is she is still active today, and one of our most active volunteer firefighters. She's still out there doing it. So Susan, thank you. And again, we're honored to have you. As we celebrate this milestone, we also look toward the future. We remain committed to providing exceptional emergency services, investing in our personnel, and continuing to earn the trust of the communities we proudly serve. On behalf of San Juan County, I'd like to thank the San Juan County Commission for your continued support over the past 25 years. Your commitment has enabled us to grow, improve, and better serve our citizens. We are honored to serve San Juan County, and we look forward to the next chapter of our history. And Commission, it's my understanding that you have honored us with a proclamation, and with the chairman's approval, I'd like to read that proclamation, if I may.
You certainly may.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. San Juan County Resolution 26-7-04, a proclamation recognizing the 25th anniversary of the consolidation of San Juan County Fire and Rescue. Whereas on October 13th, 2001, Ordinance 49 authorized the consolidation of multiple volunteer fire departments into a single countywide fire organization, establishing what is known today as San Juan County Fire and Rescue. And whereas this consolidation created a unified fire and rescue agency dedicated to providing professional, efficient, and coordinated emergency response services to the residents and visitors of San Juan County. And whereas over the past 25 years, San Juan County Fire and Rescue has grown into one of the region's premier emergency service organizations, responding to fires, medical emergencies, technical rescues, hazardous materials incidents, wildland fires, and other emergencies, while continually adapting to meet the demanding and changing needs of the community. And whereas the success of San Juan County Fire and Rescue is built upon the dedication, professionalism, and courage of its volunteers, firefighters, emergency medical personnel, support staff, and leadership who serve with distinction and a steadfast commitment to protecting lives, property, and the environment. And whereas the department has fostered strong partnerships with local, tribal, state, and federal agencies, as well as neighboring fire departments and community organizations, strengthening emergency preparedness and response throughout the region. And whereas beyond emergency response, San Juan County Fire and Rescue has demonstrated an enduring commitment to community risk reduction through fire prevention, public education, emergency preparedness, and outreach programs that help make San Juan County a safer place to live, work, and visit. And whereas the Board of County Commissioners wishes to recognize the lasting contributions of the men and women who envisioned and implemented consolidation 25 years ago, as well as every member of San Juan County Fire and Rescue whose service has strengthened the organization and benefited the community. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the Board of County Commissioners of San Juan County, New Mexico hereby recognizes the 25th anniversary of the consolidation of San Juan County Fire and Rescue and expresses its sincere appreciation to all past and present firefighters, emergency responders, volunteers, staff, and leaders for their unwavering dedication, professionalism, and service. The board encourages all residents to join in celebrating this milestone and to recognize the vital role San Juan County Fire and Rescue has played in protecting our communities for the past 25 years, while looking forward to many more years to come. Adopted this 7th day of July, 2026, by the Board of County Commissioners of San Juan County, New Mexico, signed by Chairman Sam Gonzalez.
Thank you, sir.
And Mr. Chairman, if I just may add, if I may have all my staff, past and present San Juan County firefighters that are in the crowd tonight, my administration staff, to please stand up and be recognized, and thank you for your service.
After we entertain the motion and approve this and pass it, would like to go out in the lobby and take a picture with the firefighters.
Thank you,
That's
Mr. Chairman.
I'd like to entertain the motion to approve proclamation 262704, recognizing the 25th anniversary of the consolidation of San Juan County Fire and Rescue.
I'll second it.
Motion. Is there a second?
I did.
Is there a
Second.
second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you, Commission.
You bet. Let's go take a picture with your staff.
You want to do it out there?
No.
I don't want light behind them.
Oh, okay.
So up here?
Yeah. Gentlemen, ladies, come on. John, that means you.
Come on, John.
Chief Hatfield, that means you.
Need a bigger vestibule.
All right, back it in. All right, everybody together. We're going to have to get a second row in the back there, please. Scooch together. Scooch in. Heather, that means you. Scooch in. Scooch in. Carl, scooch back. Goodness gracious, you guys never listen to me. You're not on fire. All right, there we go. Big smiles. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Very nice.
Long day.
Just want to know what the best mustache always stands in the back.
I don't have to take all the names.
Yeah, attention to glory.
Didn't know I was going to need my walking shoes today. I guess when I saw those resolutions or proclamations, I should have known.
All right. Moving on to item number 4. Consideration of memorandum of understanding with the City of Farmington authorizing ASD-JIP pilot program. Ms. Jennifer Mitchell. Welcome, Jennifer.
afternoon.
How are you?
Mr. Chair and Commissioners, before I do proceed with the matter on the agenda, I would also like to, at this time, give you a brief update on the recent incident that occurred over the weekend at the ASD facility. As you know, an inmate breached the fence at the ASD campus and fled on foot. Law enforcement was notified immediately following the incident, and the Sheriff's Office continues to lead that investigation. We are cooperating fully and deferring all investigative matters to them. Second, our internal review identified operational practices that may have contributed to the incident. We are following up with the involved staff from an administrative perspective, reviewing policies, practices, and reinforcing our procedures going forward, and that process is underway. Finally, we have identified the likely location of the escape. The examination revealed a security breach in the perimeter, which has since been rectified. The photos before you show the breach as we found it, and the same location after the corrective work was completed. I'm happy to answer any questions that you may have now or following my presentation.
Any questions from the commission?
Not so far. Okay, I'll go ahead and proceed then. So I'm here today along with Farmington City Manager Shauna Reeves, Farmington Police Chief Steve Hebby, and Jill Adair, Christine Carlson, and Esteban Rodriguez representing the JIP program to introduce a new pilot program that would expand our existing 28-day jail-based DWI treatment program to a new population and to highlight what I think is a genuinely unique three-way collaboration between the San Juan County, City of Farmington, and Presbyterian Medical Services Total Behavioral Health JIP program that makes this possible. So let me start with the problem that we're trying to solve. As you are likely aware, the City of Farmington experiences significant challenges with respect to unhoused and intoxicated individuals. This issue remains a high priority for residents and business owners within the community. One effective tool the courts have to address the addiction and housing insecurity issues is by utilizing the Joint Intervention Program, operated by PMS's Total Behavioral Health Services. Historically, when the municipal court has sentenced someone into outpatient treatment, namely JIP, and that person fails to complete it, there hasn't been a structured, secure treatment option to fall back on. That person basically cycles back through the court system, and the judge is left with two choices: either send them back to JIP or place them in jail. As you know, our alternative sentencing division already operates a proven 28-day jail-based treatment program. Up to now, that program has been limited exclusively to individuals convicted of DWI. But the infrastructure, the clinical staff, and the treatment model we've built are well suited to serve a small, carefully screened group of additional individuals, specifically those non-DWI municipal defendants who weren't able to succeed in a non-secured treatment environment and need something more structured. This is where the three-way partnership comes in. Total Behavioral Health Services will continue to run the JIP program exactly as it does today. However, this collaboration will add a layer to the process in that when someone doesn't complete the program's involvement and documentation of that non-completion becomes the catalyst that opens up this referral pathway. San Juan County, through the Alternative Sentencing Division, retains full discretion over program eligibility, admission, and space availability, just as we do with our DWI population. We're not changing our clinical model or our screening standards. We're simply extending eligibility in a very limited way to this new population. Individuals convicted of DWI and sentenced into the program will continue to have priority for admission. Additionally, the number of non-DWI inmates will be capped at 5 at any given time. So I'm before you today to request that you approve the memorandum of understanding between the San Juan County and the City of Farmington that puts this pilot into effect. Under the proposed terms, the city would compensate the county $3,916 per individual who completes the program, or a prorated daily rate of $139.86 for those who don't. All of our existing admission criteria remain fully in effect and unchanged, and either party will have the ability to terminate the agreement for convenience within 30 days written notice, which gives us an easy off-ramp in case the pilot doesn't perform as we expect it to. We'll be tracking outcomes carefully throughout the pilot period so that we have solid information to use for evaluation of efficacy that will eventually help inform whether or not the partnership should continue, expand, or end. So with that, we stand for any questions you may have.
Is there any questions?
I do.
Terry, go ahead.
I was just curious, how many judges are involved in referral to this program for this? Is there 1, 2?
Mr. Chair, Madam Commissioner? Mr. Chair, Madam Commissioner? Yes, there is, from the planning perspective, there has been one, the full-time municipal court judge, Robert Miller, has been involved in some of the planning and laying of the foundation of this pilot. My understanding is that all of the judges at the municipal court level will be involved. So I believe there is of course, the full-time judge as well as a part-time judge and an alternate judge.
Okay.
So this option will be available to all of them.
All of them, and they're aware, obviously, if they're part of the planning as well.
Yes, Judge Miller is aware, and I'm assuming he has relayed this information to the rest of the judges, but I will, once this memorandum of understanding is formalized, then I will make that opportunity available to them so that they're familiar with all the processes.
And it sounds like the accommodations are already in place, so, and staffing, those type things already ready to go with this, if we agree to this.
Madam Chair, Commissioner Fortner, yes, the infrastructure is already in place. We've been doing it for years, and capping the opportunity, or the limiting to the 5 individuals, non-DWI individuals at any given time will easily be able to accommodate that.
Okay, awesome, thank you.
Mr. Chair, I have a question.
Yes.
You mentioned tracking mechanisms. Have you defined what your tracking mechanisms will be, and what are they?
Mr. Chair, Commissioner Lanier, so we have not defined exactly what parameters we're going to be looking at, but certainly we will be looking at success rates, recidivism rates, completion rates to start with, of course, things like that. And we already have a database structure in place where we can, easily track all of that information.
Okay.
Any other questions from the commission? No. Okay. Then I'd like to entertain a motion to approve.
I'll move that we approve.
The MOU with the City of Farmington authorizing ASD and GIP pilot program.
I move that we approve the MOU with the City of Farmington authorizing ASD GIP pilot program.
I'll second.
There's a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carried. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
All right, good job. Item number 5, consideration of the amended and restated joint powers agreement with the Navajo Nation to operate and maintain solid waste transfer stations. Mr. Stark.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. As you might recall, this item was previously before you at the March 3rd Commission meeting. We thought we had the agreement wrapped up, the Third Amendment, and ready to go for approval by the Navajo Nation. We were informed by the Navajo Nation DOJ, and really the primary change here is that they can't continue doing JPAs that go on in perpetuity. They need to have an end date, and their end date is every 5 years. And so that's the primary change, is the term on this joint powers agreement. So it has a 5-year cap on it, and of course we'll go through, when that point in time comes, renewal appropriately for the JPA. So just as background, in 1994, San Juan County and the Navajo Nation entered into this JPA for the operation and maintenance of solid waste compacting and transfer stations on the Navajo Nation at Shiprock, Upper Fruitland, and Sand Springs. The original agreement was ultimately amended in 2016 and 2022, and so this is, of course, the third amendment. The Navajo Nation did reach out. We've been working with Navajo Nation Council Michelle Garcia and Charlene Jeff, who's the Navajo Nation Senior Projects and Programs Specialist for the Division of Community Development. They made that one major change, but then also just to make sure you're aware, the financial arrangements under this agreement have not changed at all. So the Navajo Nation will continue to pay all operating and maintenance expenses of the stations. Of course, San Juan County will continue to operate the stations. Each Navajo Nation fiscal year, they're on the federal fiscal year, so their fiscal year starts on October 1st. The Navajo Nation will deposit with the county an amount estimated to cover the nation's total obligations for the upcoming fiscal year. Over the course of the year, each quarter, the county will credit against the deposit any revenues received through user fees at the stations. If a deficit occurs between the amount on the deposit and the actual expense, the county will bill the Navajo Nation for that amount on a quarterly basis. If any of the deposited funds remain at the end of the Navajo Nation fiscal year, that amount will be credited against what they owe. It does not appropriate funds for a given year. The Navajo Nation will alert the county to this fact as soon as possible before funds are exhausted, and the county may terminate the agreement upon exhaustion of remaining funds. You may recall we haven't done that yet. They are in a deficit situation, but we've been working with our great partners. We've been working together since 1994. And so the agreement is that this JPA, if approved by you all, will be approved by the Navajo Nation, and ultimately has to be approved as well by the Department of Finance and Administration for the state of New Mexico. So, and when that happens, then they will make good on their past due balance, and then also provide us funding for the next fiscal year starting October 1st. So that is this reconsideration of this third amendment before you this evening.
Well, thank you. Is there any questions for Mr. Stark? No. What's the balance that they owe us, by the way?
Pretty close to $500,000. So that's accumulated over the course of a year. We notified them over a year ago about the outstanding balance, and ultimately, kept extending credit, in essence, in good faith that we want to continue the partnership. It wasn't something we wanted to just, arbitrarily terminate. So, to date, they've been good partners, and we want to continue that partnership. We think it's a valuable service that San Juan County provides, and they have indicated they don't have the internal capacity to provide the service. So if we don't, they would be left without a service.
Well, let's hope they pay up. That's for sure.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Mr. Stark, you met with the division directors, and are they saying in the future that they're working on a place, where the tribe will take care of its own waste management? Did they kind of bring that up, or it wasn't discussed?
Mr. Chair and Commissioner Totocini, indirectly it was discussed. They do operate a facility in Arizona, as I understand, and so they do have one facility that they currently operate, and then I believe contract services with other entities like us to provide services across the nation. But it was not mentioned that they would be looking to do that here in San Juan County.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion then, if I could, we approve the amended and restated joint powers agreement with the Navajo Nation to operate and maintain solid waste transfer stations as stated herein by Mr. Stark.
I'll take that, but we have another question from Commissioner Fortner.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
So, Mr. Stark, just so I understand it, so right now, 500,000's what we're due. Is that correct? And what's the time period for that?
That's been over a year and 13 months, I think. Kim, does that sound right?
So over a year. And it says if the Navajo Nation does not appropriate funds for a given year, the Navajo Nation will alert the county to this fact before these funds are exhausted, and they've alerted us of that fact.
Well, Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
Commissioner
I know what you're
Fortner.
saying. Don't-
Ms. Mitchell got me started on that.
I think she called me Madam Chair.
Yeah, so part of the dilemma with, and I think this new format of agreement plus having, a different management group in place is it was always a dilemma for them to reappropriate funding for the next fiscal year. And part of it was a perpetual JPA that I think they oftentimes forgot about internally until we would notify them that they're past due, that their previous contribution, their funds had been exhausted. And then we would, oftentimes that would happen outside of the start of their fiscal year. And so that would be problematic for them in terms of getting funding reappropriated during the middle of a fiscal year. And so this arrangement's much better because it's going to be pre-fiscal year start, October 1st. And they're going to make good on the outstanding balance and then also pre-fund the next year's worth of activity. So is it possible that we could end up in this place again? It is, but I think we've got a better structure in place now. And then also there's certainly an out with the termination after 5 years and actually an out if we so chose, County Commission so chose, if there were funds not appropriated.
So it's an annual payment that they make, not 5 years.
Mr. Chair, that's correct. So they would make an upfront annual payment, and our hope would be that that's going to happen in advance or right at the same time of the start of their fiscal year.
Very good. Very good.
So this should clean up, like I said, current and then going forward, and then we'll just have to make certain that they're appropriating accordingly for future years to come.
And is there a grace period and then any type of fees attached to that?
Interest.
Yeah, if it's not paid or?
Mr. Chair and Commissioner Ford, we do not have any penalties and interest that accrue on this, so it's solely the outstanding balance. So we have been carrying that now for 13 months.
That's a long time.
It is a long time, no question about it.
And how is the staff and how is the operations paid for in the event that funding hasn't been given to the county to operate?
So, Mr. Chair, Commissioner Fortner, we have a fund balance within the solid waste fund that would allow us to carry that balance, and we've been doing so. We've been in constant communication, so that proactively by county staff, myself, Ms. Martin, I bet we're in communication over the last 13 months, every month. Unfortunately, we weren't seeing the ball moving forward. And finally, we got to a place where I think we've got the right people involved. And so I don't think we're going to have this problem in the future. Although, management does change. Elections will change management.
Be a
So
good
I hope
question
that,
for the candidates.
yeah, I hope that this is certainly something as you know, we try to meet quarterly with Navajo Nation officials on a variety of topics.
Right.
But this will certainly be front and center going forward because we need to make sure that everybody has full awareness of how important this is, because the last thing we would want is for citizens on the Navajo Nation in San Juan County to be without proper trash service.
Right.
And that wouldn't be good for anybody.
Also to strap the county at a position of operational funds for that too.
Correct. Correct.
So we want to be fiscally wise in how we're using our money too.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate that information. So.
I'm just wondering if we couldn't create some incentive by tacking on interest on that for the county. I mean, we've given them plenty of time, and this might nudge them a little bit to be prompter on their payments.
Mr. Chair, is that something you're suggesting we do for the future, moving forward? Because we didn't have that provision for the current balance that's been accumulated.
Yeah, and it will come into play if they pay up.
Certainly, we could certainly add that provision to the agreement, and if you'd like to make a motion accordingly, we can add that accordingly.
Yes, if you want to amend the motion to include that provision.
Gary?
Gary, You want to amend that?
Yeah, I'll amend that motion to, I guess, it was to add interest, is that right? Okay, same motion, but we'll add that to it.
And we can discuss at what percentage, but I think it'd be a good thing just to motivate them to make a payment. Is there a second to that motion?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition? Okay, motion carried. Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Item number 6, consideration of fulfillment and release of ordinance 121, decommissioning requirements for Public Service Company of New Mexico. Mr. Mike Stark.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. I do want to note we have representatives of P&M with us tonight, I think in person as well as online. And then we also have Andrew Schaff, who is San Juan County's engineer relative to this project, and I'll share more with you. So for background, the County Commission approved ordinance number 121 in November of 2021. And a couple of commissioners here were part of this passage of this ordinance, and it was an ordinance requiring the demolition and remediation of coal-fired electricity generation facilities upon retirement. And it laid out requirements that the County Commission put in place relative to how decommissioning should work and how it should be completed, overseen, and then ultimately a release that's provided. And that's what happy to announce that we're bringing to you tonight. And I've got, I'm going to turn over some time to Mr. Schaff here, our engineer that assisted us with this. But in essence, we, P&M has demonstrated fulfillment of the obligations established under Ordinance 121 by removing above-ground generating station infrastructure, addressing associated environmental safety concerns, and restoring the site to prevailing grade consistent with the approved demolition and remediation plan that was actually brought forth to the Commission previously. Consistent with Section 3 of Ordinance 121, San Juan County retained a qualified independent engineering firm to evaluate the demolition and remediation plan and to assist the county in determining compliance with ordinance requirements. Following a review of P&M's completed documentation, site conditions, and demolition activities, the county's independent engineering consultant has concluded that San Juan Generating Station has been properly decommissioned and demolished in accordance with the approved plan and the requirements of Ordinance 121. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Mr. Schaff. He has provided you his letter. In addition, within our packet, your packet is the complete Burns and McDonald decommissioning completion report provided by P&M, and we have some associated pictures we can share with you all as well. So with that, if I could, Mr. Chair, turn it over to Mr. Schaff.
You bet. Mr. Shaw, you're on.
All right, thank you, Mr. Stark and commissioners. The work that was done by P&M is inconsistent and supports what the ordinance was requesting from the county for the utility to do. Just to highlight several of the things that was completed during the activity, there was asbestos that was removed from the facility. There was the elimination of, like the chimneys, which required notification of outside agencies. There was some underground storage tank removal and above ground storage tanks that were removed. And a lot of those things were also governed by other agencies' permit requirements. So that the New Mexico Environmental Department has some governing efforts over that, and that they have reached all of the demolition and closure requirements from those different permitted storage tanks and activities. From a couple of things that I do want to just kind of highlight that were like direct impacts to San Juan County, that there was, while there was a large amount of steel. They typically refer to it as ferrous and non-ferrous materials. So ferrous materials are the structural steel that's removed from the facility, and the non-ferrous metals. Most of that was all shipped off and outside of San Juan County, but from a construction and demolition debris, there was a large volume of it that was disposed of in the San Juan County landfill that totaled about 16,000 tons, and which was almost 700 truckloads of material over the several years of decommissioning work, which is very common. That's a very standard amount of material that would be, but just want to make sure that the commissioners understand kind of the impact of the waste facility that you guys have and are managing for the county. And then what they've talked about is all of the material being properly handled and disposed of at the landfill or other disposal sites that they've coordinated through all of the standard disposal requirements that are laid out in all of the regulations. And want to just reemphasize the good work that the demolition company that was hired by P&M has done and has brought the site to the condition to reinstate it in kind of as close to the general rolling topography that the site was at or is located in.
So the site is pretty much completely cleared up?
All of the structures above ground are all removed. There still are concrete foundations that exist out there. And if you look at the report that was provided by P&M, you can kind of see there's the different areas, and they've brought in fill in the area or kind of leveled it out so you don't see like big giant foundations jutting up out of the ground, that it's kind of the general rolling landscape that exists out there.
Good deal.
Mr. Chair, if I could have Mr. Mietti pull up, we've got pictures that we could share that were in the report. So this will give you an idea of what that site looks like now post decommissioning. I think there's a handful of pictures here.
Oh,
Yeah, towards the end of their report, so you can.
And Mr. Chair, I might add that myself, Mr. Saavedra, Ms. Sitta, as well as P&M representatives met on site about a month and a half ago and did a tour, complete tour, stem to stern of the activities that have taken place since decommissioning, and they've done a commendable job. And not just with decommissioning, but also managing future stormwater, making sure they have retention ponds on site so that you don't have washouts or areas that get,
It sure has
damaged
changed
later.
It sure has changed the view, hasn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Right.
And like I mentioned, we do have P&M representatives here. I didn't know if you'd want them to come up or not, but they're certainly here if you needed to.
Yeah, if any representatives from P&M would like to step up and say a few words, would be glad to listen to you. And introduce yourselves and let us know who you are.
Good afternoon. Derek Bailey, Project Manager for Demolition Decommissioning.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. I'm Wes Gray, Vice President of Operations and Engineering for P&M.
All right. Good deal. Any questions for these individuals?
No.
But we just thank you for being here, and do you have anything for us to tell us other than how the project's been going, or fill us in?
It's a bittersweet time for P&M. The plants have operated here in San Juan County for a considerable amount of time, and we've been a partner here for all those years. It's tough for any utility to choose to decommission a plant and tear it down, but time moves on and technology moves on, and we accept that with the energy transition that's going on in the state of New Mexico. We're happy that the county is satisfied with the work we did, that we're returning that site back to the way it once was. Unfortunately, at this point, we don't have a long-term plan for it. We've had a couple of soft inquiries about utilizing that site for some renewable generation facilities, but nothing concrete. But from us at PNM, we're committed to working with our stakeholders, our community partners, the county, to try to find a viable long-term solution for it. But at this point, we don't. But it's a little bit bittersweet. But I think the project went very well. The team worked very cohesively with the county staff and the consulting engineers to make sure that we met all the requirements and that the county is fully satisfied with the work we had done.
Well, very good. Thank you.
I guess above ground, it's easier to clean, correct, rather than the storage that's underground? Is that being taken care of too? Like, is that fuel of something? Is that?
Yes, ma'am. We removed the underground storage tank, so all of that has been remediated as well.
Okay, thank you.
Just the big concrete structures are still in place, but they are flush with the rest of the ground, the backfill to where it looks good. All right. Any other questions? Well, thank you. Thank you for coming up, and thank you for your time.
And Mr. Chair, so ultimately what this item needs is an action item.
Yeah.
And so it would be that you all would accept that PNM has made satisfactorily completed the requirements of ordinance 121, and with that action, then we could issue them formal notification via letter that we're required to do by way of the ordinance. So,
well, I'd like to entertain a motion then for consideration of the fulfillment and release of ordinance 121 decommissioning requirements for Public Service Company of New Mexico.
I move that we accept and approve the fulfillment and release of Ordinance 121 decommissioning requirements for Public Service Company of New Mexico, PNM.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Is there any opposed? Motion carried. And the resolution, it's carried. Motion passed. Okay. Moving on to the report from our county manager.
yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Commissioners, a brief update. I know we have some department heads that'd like to update you on some items. Grants and awards is what I'm focused on tonight. So we have continued, as you know, to do very well in the grants department, and we recently received from the New Mexico Environment Department a VW settlement award of $244,481 that will replace a heavy haul truck within our solid waste department. This is the third such award that we've received through the VW settlement fund, and so we're appreciative of that. It's going to replace a 2007 unit, and it's going to be paid for through the grant. So it's always nice to have those dollars coming in from elsewhere to fund activities and capital replacement here. We also received, been a few years, but Commissioner Totticini notified us a few years ago the Clean and Beautiful grant. Remember that one? He said the county needs to apply for that, and we've been applying for it every year, and we won that grant again for $8,000 that will help us offset transfer station fees. You know, we do a spring waiver of fees at the transfer stations, and then a fall that's actually provided. I can't remember if the spring is through the contract we have with Waste Management, or if it's this grant. But either way, it's funding one of those cleanup free dumpster days on a weekend that we do twice a year. So nice to have that. We also found out we're going to formally recognize them when we actually get the award, but the Finance Department was the recipient of the GFOA, Governmental Finance Officers Association, Triple Crown Award. And so that's for 3 different programs that we submit on and win the Triple Crown. And out of 90,000, roughly 90,000 governmental units across the United States, we're only one of 441 to have received the Triple Crown Award. So I just wanted to make you aware of that. And like I said, once we get the hardware, we'll get to formally recognize them at the July 28th meeting. And then we also received a notice a week and a half ago that we are a National Association of Counties Significant Achievement Award winner again for 2 different achievement awards. And I don't know if Mr. Myers is here from the Treasurer's Office. He was instrumental in putting those together, but one is for our workforce feedback system using employee insight to improve county operations. And the other award was for the GIS-enabled delinquent property tax collection program. So out of the award winners for NACO in the state of New Mexico, there were only 12. And so we represent 2 of those 12 awards. And, you know, we've got a wall right there of all of our significant achievement award wins to date. And so we'll be happy to hang 2 more on the wall here very soon. So.
And that'll be presented to us in a couple of weeks also?
Yes, Mr. Chair, Commissioner Porter, yes, July 28th. In fact, Mr. Myers is heading down to New Orleans for the summer conference to pick up those awards. So that's here in a couple weeks.
Okay.
That's good.
And that concludes my report tonight.
Well, thank you.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, ma'am.
Before, I know we're going to get the hardware about the finance department, but I just had to say publicly how much I appreciate them in light of a lot of things that go on in our state. We have been, we look pretty good, I must say, because of the finance department, and I know we'll be discussing it more later, but I just wanted to publicly say thank you. Mm-hmm.
Good deal. Any other comments from the commission? Okay. Reports from our elected officials and our department heads. Who do we have up today?
Uh-oh.
All right.
Yeah,
we got you.
Mr. Chair, Commission. I'd also like to invite Jennifer Johnson forward. Wanted to give you an update on how the year with Jen has been. So I often refer to her as our contract comedian, which she is exceptionally funny, and we do have like a Lucy and Ethel dynamic that goes on in the office. But she's our success mentor, so we have a strong partnership with 100% San Juan, which is a grassroots organization that aligns, amplifies, and advocates. They're not a 501c3, they go through a fiscal sponsor, so every penny goes to a cause. They have certainly amplified what we do, and one of those ways in which they have is contracting out Jennifer Johnson. So wanted to give you kind of a 30,000-foot view, both of how it's been, maybe where it's going, but also what barriers she has observed, which coexist with the barriers that the rest of us are observing as well, and they're not new to you. You will recognize them. So she has served a total of 486 clients this year, most of which have been what we would call high needs. Now, I mean, most people that walk through our door are high needs. Initially, that was really the focus, was following these more high needs clients. We've adapted that to accommodate the volume that comes into the navigation center. So what she is doing is sort of functioning in a bit of a triage way. Tuesday through Thursday, she's with us, and those are walk-in days. So Jen will take these individuals, she'll assess what's going on. If it's a fix that we can do right then and there, she will do that. If somebody needs to come back, they're going to come back to me or one of the peer navigators or Bianca for that follow-up work. So that's a lot of people, right? And a few barriers that have come up, transportation issues. Through 100%, we also received a grant for Greyhound bus tickets, which came in very handy. We would have reentry services from the jail approach us and say, so-and-so is put in jail here, but they actually are from here. Can you help us get them back to there? And we've been able to do that, which is lovely. But transportation is a huge barrier for our community. Obviously, we're not a very walkable community, so that is a problem. Lack of phones or internet access. You guys might be aware that most restaurants and sort of these more entry-level positions, you can't walk in anymore and say, I would like to be a dishwasher. Used to be, they'd say, cool, put on an apron and like get back and wash dishes, right? But now they're like, yeah, so you go to Indeed and you look us up and you turn in this application online, right? Well, that is a barrier for folks that do not have access to computers, phones, internet, et cetera. So we do have a computer station. She has helped numerous people apply for jobs through that mechanism. Long wait times and just multiple service processes that are going on. If you have 5 needs, you need to speak to 5 different people, but you're not even quite sure who the first one is, nor how to get there and who to talk to.
helping with that. Affordable housing, we know, thankfully the county is working on an affordable housing plan, but one interesting component that you might not think of is that often there are application fees, right? So say we have the ability to help with move-in expenses, but you have to have a lease to get that assistance, but you can't get a lease until you're accepted, but you can't get accepted until you put in an application fee, right? Other housing barriers include certain criminal charges are prohibited from housing, and that's a big deal that's going on out there. And just, again, the vital documents, revolving door vital documents, and Medicaid has some new requirements for 80 hours of work, volunteer, or school. And so what we're trying to do right now is to get that word out to folks that need to hear that and help connect them to volunteer work or school or work, working through that. So those are the barriers. This is the broad overview. I wanted to allow and reintroduce Jennifer. She's hard to forget, but here she is again. And also give her a chance to share. There's a story today that happened. So I would like to give her the shot to tell you that. So.
Well, thank you, Megan.
Well, good afternoon. Thank you for having me. Sorry, this is a bit spontaneous. I didn't expect to have the time to be here, but I had a story I shared with Megan. She goes, could you come to the commission meeting with me? I think they might love this. And I'd also just like to take a minute to thank you for what you're doing. I'm going to try not to cry because I do that a lot. Jennifer, Jill, Christine, what an incredible thing that's going on over there. P&M, the contribution that you've made to our community in so many ways will be long missed. So I had a walk-in day today, which was fairly calm, and I had a gentleman come in who, it often starts with one small problem, and then you kind of see the avalanche underneath, right? So he just wanted to replace his ID, and the beautiful thing about it was the attitude that he had towards the services he's experienced in San Juan County. So he was referred, just being released from jail on Saturday, in fact. And so he came to the first walk-in day because that was the earliest time that he could be seen. He wanted to replace his New Mexico ID. He had the expired one. He still had his bracelet on, which is gold, if anybody knows. That is a government ID, basically. So he still had that, which was great, and he had his Medicaid card, which was from about 6 years ago. Wasn't sure if it was still active or not. And so he said, if I could just replace my ID, and I have my SNAP card, but my SNAP benefits were canceled while I was in jail, if I could get that back, I am so motivated. And this was one of the most inspiring people I've met yet. So motivated. I want to work. I want to work anywhere. I want to get housing. I've been at the bottom. I don't want to be there anymore, and I'm ready to do it. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're so cool. I can't wait to help you. And so we started on his ID, which luckily we have the paperwork and the funding to be able to send him to the MVD without having to pay for it. We can verify that he's homeless, he has no income, he's a resident. We had that all in favor. We didn't have any current bus passes, and again, transportation an issue. So on foot from the Navigation Center to the DMV is a long ways. So luckily I had the flexibility to be able to take him there. And as we went there, we talked about his SNAP benefits, and we tried to call several numbers. That was a long wait, but we got a hold of Echo. They said, we can get you here at 3:15 if you can be here. We will get your SNAP benefits back up and running. And so in the short drive from the Navigation Center to the MVD, he shared with me that he not only had an exceptional experience with Mr. Webb and actually the whole program there, that he wrote him a letter that he had hoped would be shared with you all. I can't give you any details on the HIPAA vibe, but you might have already heard his story. And so he said, it was incredible. I love that they sent me straight here because all I needed was that small win to make me keep getting those wins. He goes, I knew if I didn't talk to somebody today who made me think I could do this, I wasn't going to make it. And that was not me. This was the opportunity that you guys gave me, along with 100% and the grant from the Incorm Fund, to be there for him. And we both cried on the way to the DMV. If you can imagine, that he said, I can't wait to be a CPSW. I can't wait to help other people. I can't wait to tell them about my experiences. And the other little thing that I think he might have mentioned in his letter was a bicycle. Because I told him, I said, I understand that we are so grateful to have the transportation system that we have. But I've had a client who, for example, got a job food prepping at a restaurant on the east side by Lowe's, 7 a.m. to noon. So the bus didn't leave early enough from PATH to get him there on time. Then he got a second job at a McDonald's, but only working the graveyard shift from 8 to midnight. So the bus is shut down, he can't get there. So he's trying to get from essentially Lowe's to PATH back and forth twice in a day. And he said, all I need is a bicycle. And so I got 100% because we had an anonymous fund for homeless support. For $112, we got him a new Huffy bike from Walmart, which is a small thing, but that changed that person's story. And I told him, what do you think if I could get you a bike? And then we cried again. He was like, if I could get a bike, he goes, I'm gonna make you so proud of me. And so I just wanted you guys to know that the Navigation Center does incredible things. There are a lot of beautiful things going on in this community, but I think that they are overlooked for the sense of belonging that we give to people that come in and just giving them that sense of hope, because it's never a closed door. If it's something that they can't provide, they still sit with you, talk to you about it, figure out who can help you, and if no one can help you, then we figure out how we fix that. So thank you.
Any questions?
I have something.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I didn't have a question. Terry does.
Jen, you always tell a great story and cry, and I love it. You always have great stories, and you know, well, that's that passion and enthusiasm, and I appreciate that. And Megan, thank you for having her come and tell. And so, you know, there's this thing called TikTok and YouTube, and that
Tell me
say
more.
an Ethel thing.
Yeah, Ethel, yeah. You guessed it right. I am Ethel, yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Well, and we need comedic relief sometime because you guys deal with tough things, and it's okay to laugh and make other people laugh.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the way you guys tell stories because, you know, ultimately at the end of the day, you guys are doing it. We have the opportunity to support you in this, and I hope that we always have that opportunity to support you because that's big work. And for somebody to say that he has hope, that is big. From a bicycle, you know, I mean, yeah. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
You
I feel like I have to tell you a joke. And also this is the first time. Thank you. It's not a good one, but it's the most recent one I heard. So do you know what the difference is between New York and Minnesota? Why they're polar opposites? Because New York has the Big Apple, and Minnesota is where the mini apple is.
That's good. That's
So,
kid
like,
friendly.
any other questions? Do you just want to get us off the stage now? Okay.
Thank you for making the difference. That's great. Good story. Other department heads. Oh, there comes Mr. Nick.
Road information, bridges. That's good.
Good afternoon, Mr. Chair, Commissioners. Mr. Stark asked that I give you a report. I'll share two projects that are going on right now. Yesterday, today's Tuesday, we started the full depth reclamation work for the second phase of the Road 7900 project. That should take about 6 weeks. So we do have single lane closures in place during the day out there right now. Folks that may use that road will indeed encounter construction, and asking them certainly to obey any signage and direction we have in place from our crews on the ground. Second project, starting actually next Monday, that you awarded, I think it was on the consent agenda last month, is the rehabilitation project on the APS bridge is what it's known. It's that bridge that crosses the San Juan River between Upper Fruitland and Fruitland, outside of Kirtland. That project will be continuing through October this year. It's structural concrete repairs, a bridge coating project, and replacement of the supporting bridge bearing plates. Certainly keep you updated as that project progresses, but it starts Monday, so a lot going on.
Awesome.
Oh, good.
Thanks.
Thank you.
I don't have anything, I just have a comment, is that I feel kind of like a salmon on a salmon ladder with all the construction, not in the county, but in the city. I'm trying to go here, but I'm going all the way over here. I feel like, you know, and it's just, you gotta do stuff now, right? But I just realized that today I'm getting further away from where I'm going.
To get there.
Yeah.
It's
All
like
right, Mr.
Highway
Chair.
550.
I have a little bit of a report and a little bit of a request. So a few weeks ago, we had the New Mexico County Summer Conference down in Gallup. There were several of us from the county that were able to attend that. It was great few days of networking and learning and visiting a county that I honestly had never spent much time in. Gallup has a lot to offer. It's kind of a neat place. But as I was driving in, one of the first things I noticed was their fuel prices. And I know fuel prices are on everybody's minds. At that point, it was $3.55 a gallon at Walmart. We're a community that, just as Jim was saying, we do have public transportation, but it's not convenient for everybody. So everybody has to use their cars, get their kids to school, go to work, whatever. So I've had several people reach out to me, and I am now asking the county staff to open an investigation into our fuel prices in San Juan County. That will be going through the Attorney General, and we just want some answers as to why our prices are higher. We need a better understanding as to what the issues are, whether it be supply or transportation, because that's kind of the typical answer I seem to get, competitions, taxes, or other reasons. You all deserve transparency, and I'm hoping that as a county we're able to provide that.
Well, very good. That's a great suggestion for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Is there any other department heads that need to give us an update?
Mr. Chair, Mr. Stark, I don't know if you've already done it, but Farmington Police Department lost an officer in a tragic. If we haven't sent condolences, could you please do that?
Mr. Chair and Commissioner Tonacini, we'd happy to do so on behalf of the commission.
Okay. Okay. Guess there's not any more. Comments and input from the general public. Comments are accepted in person.
How do we do that? Do I just say?
Just a minute.
Okay, let me read this and then we can come up. Comments are accepted in person, limited to 3 minutes, on the subjects the commission has not previously discussed or formal action has not been taken. No formal action will be taken at this meeting that relates to the comments or inputs from the general public. If you have a comment or an input, come on up.
Hello, you all.
Well, hello there.
I don't come real often, you must admit. But I'm here tonight to ask you to rethink something.
Introduce yourself, please.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Dr. Carol Clore. I'm a retired educator and an alfalfa hay farmer. Okay, I live on the West Hammond. And when I was 18 years old, my husband was 19, we got married and came to Farmington. And we fell in love with it. Then we went all over, you know how the gas company does. And when we had a chance to come back, we said, let's go to San Juan County, and we did. And we bought 100 acres on the West Hammond. It had never been planted, and we didn't know how to farm. You remember Christine Donisthorpe? Mm-hmm. Yes. She taught us how to farm, and Harold built her a chicken coop. We had a 5-year-old, 7-year-old, 9-year-old little daughter. One of the middle daughters back there with me. Now, on that West Hammond, it was a dirt road. There were literally 12 families. The reason I know that, my husband and 4 men started the water company for drinking water. Barbara Kipper is here. There are now 3,500. That road, paved by the San Juan County Commission, thank you, is a 2-lane highway. The road coming from Albuquerque to Farmington is 4 divided. Farmington, Bloomfield to Farmington, 4 divided. But huge trucks come down that road. Now, I'm a retired educator, and my daughter, Dr. Kimberly Mizell, was superintendent in Bloomfield. She said, Mom, that's really dangerous because we have kids standing out there morning and evening being picked up or let off from the buses. The bridge has been built twice. I don't know how much a oil tanker weighs filled up, but I'm assuming it's pretty much. And there's enough for 2 or 3 to be on that bridge. I would like to ask you all to rethink. Perhaps that road isn't appropriate for huge trucks. Now, I don't know what it would take to do that, but I do know that there are areas where there is high population in cities that trucks are not allowed to go. So my request tonight, after I thank Manager Mike Stark, I really do thank you, Mike, and at the state fair he gives me a hug because he is working the booth for San Juan County, and I am down there as a commissioner. So I really appreciate it, and he always calls me back, and he helps me solve my problems. If the county can't do it, he tells me how to get it done. So I want to thank all of you for what you do. I appreciate it. I love this community. I love this county. And I'm appealing to you to rethink that road being open. Oh, by the way, it's so straight. It's a racetrack. And I have to remind myself not to do it too. But please just consider that and what you're looking at doing in the future. And as a high school principal, I used to tell my teachers, don't tell me why you can't. Tell me how you can. All right, so think of it that way. Thank you.
Thank you, Carol.
Allow myself to introduce myself. My name is Steve Wommel. I reside at 48 Road, 5250 on the West Hammond. Thank you for allowing us to come and speak here today of a serious concern, of course, of what Ms. Clora has already alluded to. With a show of hands, how many West Hammond residents do we have here today? Wonderful. I'm the one, I'll take full responsibility. I'm the one that spearheaded this effort because I see a safety-related concern on the West Hammond. Since the construction of the bridge itself that was completed in May of 2022, that bridge was actually constructed to allow that of heavier weight trucks to enter as well as to exit, I guess you could say, over the bridge and continue on to 550. As you well know, all of us search for that of the closest parking spot at Walmart. The same thing here in that of psychology applies. People think that they can take that shortcut and eliminate time. I talked with the state police officer. I said, how much time does we can actually save? And he says, probably about 4 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, these heavy trucks coming up and down our road have now become that of a serious problem. I asked the state police officer, I said, what is it going to take to correct the problem? He said, probably a serious accident. And then the review of what the problem is. I'm here to provide that of a solution. We just restrict that of heavy over the road tractor trailer rigs coming through our West Hammond rural road, which is a double yellow line, very narrow with no shoulder. Case in point, I was actually making a left-hand turn to go into my road, 5250. To make a left-hand turn, we had traffic obviously going eastbound, so I had to stop. Behind me was a tractor-trailer rig. With that person's impatience, I guess you could say, in order to make the final delivery point, decide to pass me on the right-hand side, completely around me. There's no shoulder there. What would happen if a pedestrian or someone riding a bicycle? How about there was a school bus? There's no shoulder, ladies and gentlemen. Now we have the wonderful Dollar General store. The wonderful Dollar General store. Along with that, we had 3 major mailboxes along that pathway on that south side of the road. Now we have an obstruction, you would say, of egress and egress of traffic coming in and out of that of Dollar General store. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you what, I'd hate to see a school bus. I'd hate to see any fatality or injury, including myself. My wife and I, every time we, I guess you could say, drive the gauntlet, the West Hammond and the influx of that of tractor-trailer rigs has become a major safety concern. I did the research here, ladies and gentlemen. We do have a state statute. It's Chapter 66, Motor Vehicles, 66-7-415, when the State Transportation Commission or local authorities may restrict the right of the usage of streets and highways. I would suggest your legal counsel review this. And we're talking about, let's don't wait till tomorrow. Let's get it done. We do appreciate the large marquee sign that says to please slow down. We appreciate that. But it's not going to remedy the problem. Now, I'm not out to that of the fact of limiting or saying that of anyone who has a business, of tractor-trailer business, of semis. No, I'm not out to do that. I'm looking out for the safety of our constituents and our residents who live in rural America, rural New Mexico on the West Hammond. Let's take action now. Let's put up a sign on both ends. It is not a thoroughway. It's not I-70. It's not an extension of I-50, 550 or anything else. It's a two-lane highway, ladies and gentlemen. Let's not let a fatality or that of someone become seriously injured on that road. And then we finally decide, let's take action. My 3 minutes is up. I do have a copy of that state statute. I'm going to go ahead and leave that for your legal counsel to review. I suggest in collaboration with your local authorities, along with that state police, whatever the case might be, and your sheriff's department, we take action now. Please, I beg of you. Okay? All right. Thank you for your time and consideration. I've gone over the 3 minutes. Thank you.
You owe us 10 minutes.
Thank you.
Hey, Mr. Chairman, County Commissioners, I'm Barbara Kipper. I live out in the West Hammond area. I've been there for 20 years now, and I've watched the traffic continually to increase. And ever since that bridge that everybody's talked about was given more strength and the trucks now go through there, I've watched that traffic with the trucks just increase every year. I recently found myself sitting at the stop sign at 550 and 5500, waiting for an opportunity to get on and merge onto 550, waiting for all the trucks, the Walmart, the Target, the Core-Mark, just constantly coming and turning, coming down that hill and turning onto 5500. And as people said, yeah, they're saving 2, 3, 4 minutes by not going into Bloomfield. Why? What about the destruction that those heavy trucks are going to do to the road that the county is maintaining, not the state, as 550 is maintained by the state? So the mailboxes that are all along the rural road, they sit very, very close to that road. And when those big trucks are coming by and you're standing beside your mailbox, you can feel the pressure from these trucks. It's dangerous. And I really ask that the county take and evaluate what is happening on that road, how it has changed, what are the safety concerns to the people there, to recognize that it is a rural community. There's tractors, there's people going slow for valid reasons, and they're feeling the pressure from these trucks that are going 60 miles an hour, and they're right there on your tail end. They want you to go faster. Ask you to evaluate what are our options. How can we improve the process, improve the highway there before something seriously does happen? Thank you for time and your consideration.
Thank you.
Good evening, Commission. Just like to say that I appreciate the ability for citizens to come before their...
Tell us your name, please.
I'm sorry. David Harrison, Bloomfield. I appreciate being able to be heard and seen by you folks, and we appreciate what you guys do. I know it's a pretty tough job. Those who have spoken are pretty tough acts to follow. And I'm not going to really elaborate, but I'm also a citizen, a resident off of 5500. The traffic is pretty bad, and lots of trucks, etc. One thing I've noticed, I'm recently retired, but when I was working in the oil field, I was up on Nappy, just above there, and I noticed when they started the major construction of the intersection in Bloomfield with 550 and 64, and that was kind of a mess over there, I noticed a pretty sudden change in the traffic across 7100 up there, not 7100, but anyway, across the cut across, it goes all the way to the Bistai Highway. And come to find out, through talking to some of the truckers, it was actually Google that was routing them across that way. And so, you know, I try to look up stuff, and as most of us probably know, Google is like, there's no contacting anybody there that you can do anything with. But anyway, so looking at that, it made sense. And then I noticed slowly the traffic started increasing on 5500 while they were still working on that intersection in Bloomfield. So I don't know if there was something that Google had changed in their program that would automatically just send people, you know, cut them across the top of the bluffs or down 5500, but there was definitely a change. And I'm thinking that since we have a lot of people who are not from here that are passing through, that are driving trucks and stuff like that, that's probably where that came from. Now, having said that, I also spoke to someone, I don't remember who it was, but basically what I was told with it, being it's a county road that comes off of a state highway, I think I was asking about signage or something that we could put up, you know, to kind of try to divert traffic back through Bloomfield. And basically they told me that it's kind of hard for state and county to collaborate on something like that, to get a sign or signs put up to kind of make that happen. So you guys are the experts at that. I don't know how that could be done, but that was one of the things that I was told and stuff. But anyway, I'm not going to take up a bunch more of your time. But that, it is a concern. Like Mrs. Clore said, it's really dangerous. I've got kids and all kinds of stuff. I know you guys know what's going on, but just wanted to reiterate that it's a pretty good problem. And you know, the sheriff's department does everything they can to do what they do, and we appreciate them a lot. They're pretty visual out there, and we do see state police also, so thumbs up to them. Thank you all for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you, David.
Yat Commissioners, my name is Alyssa Begay. She'e Alyssa Begay and She, Ashi Nishlo, Hashkoshni Bashichin, Tabahan Dashiche, Ki Ani Dashinale. I am a resident of San Juan County. I have been for almost all my life, and it's not that much. I am a steward of the land by birth, being a Dene woman, which has brought me to you today. More importantly, I am also a community member. I like to say everywhere my foot touches is my community. So I'm very concerned when there's outside entities who are trying to come in to desecrate our water, desecrate our land, and by doing so with a data center. That is my largest concern at the moment. On the reservation, of course, we are surrounded by rivers at this point. We have the utmost beautiful land, I think. The rivers are one of the resources that we have, other states do not. Other parts of New Mexico do not. I have been following data centers since the beginning of this year, possibly back to December of 2025. I've just been watching at this point and have just started to make myself heard by means of drafting resolutions for my local chapter, which is the Shiprock chapter. I am also working with, well, just trying to get myself heard with leadership and giving information about data centers. Some of those are the amounts of water that are used. There's a lot of talk about new tech to where they are closed loop systems. However, resources are actually being utilized, be it water. There are promises of jobs. And anything that's built from the get-go always is lucrative in jobs, but over the course of time, those amounts of jobs are decreased. So with data centers specifically, the employment that happens after they're built is a very skeleton crew. You just have someone there either cleaning or making sure that everything's cooled down. Given the location of where we are at, my biggest concern is the water usage. We do have farmers, ranchers that are still utilizing their lifeways. We do have indigenous cultures living downstream from us to be considered. And ultimately, we have future generations that are depending on us to protect the resources within our community. So my ask for you today is to please consider our future generations when making decisions if approached by data centers that want to set up within the county, and more importantly, within our area. The amount of water that is used, the amount of frequencies that the sound makes could potentially make people aggressive, or affect the animals where they're grinding their teeth from the frequencies that are bothering them. So I thank you for the opportunity to talk. I thank you for the opportunity to serve you, and I look forward to watching my leadership do good for our community.
Thank you for your time.
Good late afternoon, Chairman and Commissioners. My name is Linda Corwin. I live in Bloomfield. I'm also going to be talking about the data centers. We are aware that there are people, I would say, snooping around, looking for a suitable place for a data center in San Juan County. And because other counties and the state legislature and even the United States government are moving to ban or put moratoriums on data centers, the pressure is going to be increased on you. Many outlandish promises will be made to you, like, we could get water out of the air, or we have a new system to make electricity. But please remember what Enchant Energy did to our area, how much of our money was spent and lost. These data center companies are rushing too fast. Please slow down and ask some questions. One, ask them, do you have a full-scale working model of whatever machines they're pushing? How much noise will be produced 24/7? How much light pollution will be produced 24/7? How much air pollution will they produce 24/7? How much land are they asking for? Each acre equals habitat destruction for our endangered pronghorns and other wildlife. So I am all for solar energy, but we've already lost over 1,000 acres of habitat from, for our wild creatures who need that land to survive. So please say no to these greedy companies. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Sean Schlafly, and I have a concern about the data centers too. I guess there's a proposal right now. They're in the early stages of selling off some school land, I guess, over across the La Plata. That's very precious. I think we're short. That's a short-term decision, not a long-term. You know, short-term, yeah, you know, the money looks great. You know, and since New Mexico is considering banning AI centers right now or putting a moratorium on them because they want to study water resources, electrical rates, etc., they're already planning to do one over across from the La Plata. I think that is a very poor decision, and anybody that makes that decision, they can have that in their backyard because there's a lot of people that are going to live next to that school and they're going to be affected. And you know, if you're making these decisions, think about your own backyard, because if you want to put it in your own backyard, you know, think. Thank you.
Hello, Commissioners. My name is Rebecca Davis. I live in Bloomfield. I'm an elementary school teacher in Farmington. I want to start by thanking you guys for your time, this service that you guys do. We may not agree on what I'm about to speak on, but I do appreciate the time and effort you guys all put into this. I'm coming to you today on behalf of myself, but I know there are many more in the room in our county that care what I am here about today. So I'm here to talk about the concern surrounding data centers coming to San Juan County. I was first made aware of the situation thanks to a Farmington School Board meeting in May where the realtor and state legislator spoke about several data center developers that are confirmed to be looking in the area. He was not openly asking FMS to sell their land to that data center. I've listened to it many times. He did not ask them directly, but it was enough to concern myself and others that care about our environment here and our livelihood. So thankfully, it seems as though FMS is not going to be selling that land. It's not been on the agendas and following meetings. But that's why I'm here today. I actually would like to know how many, if you could raise your hand if you are here about data centers and your concern against them. So this was with a week's notice of trying to get concerned people together. There's a lot of people concerned about this. And we know that it's not on your agendas yet. We haven't heard anything official. I think the concern is what's happening that we don't know about, what's happening behind non-disclosure agreements. And so that's the concern. Data centers are not good for our land, our people, our animals, our spirits. I thought it was interesting that you guys started today with a Christian prayer, with it being a government entity, but because it seemed as though maybe all are spiritual people, we could equate data centers to a devil. A data center is a devil that will come with false promises. It will come with false promises of jobs and economic boom, but in reality, what will we see is a hike in electric prices, short-lived jobs that will fade out after development, and massive amounts of pollution in our air, land, and water. Now, whether or not y'all as a commission and county choose to believe these things are true, you are held to represent the people who elected you. You are held to do what the people want and what is best for our well-being, and a data center is not that. I ask that you please consider adopting a moratorium on data centers in the area, or even an ordinance to ban them. Would be better. I know my journey doesn't stop here to fight data centers, but I do hope that this will be the start of San Juan County putting the well-being of its people over profit. Thank you.
Commissioners, good evening. My name is Candy Blassingame, and I live in Aztec. And I'll start with something a little bit unusual. I'm not here about a project because, as I understand it, there isn't one on the table. And that's exactly why I'm here. I would like San Juan County to proactively stand up an exploratory committee on data centers now, before any developer ever walks through the door. Oh, y'all aren't going to like me too much in a minute, so hold on. Here's my reasoning. A committee isn't how we slow this down. A moratorium is a horrible idea. It's how we make sure that if something gets built, San Juan County actually wins, instead of just hosting someone else's win, because the benefits of these projects are negotiated, not automatic. Look at Los Lunas. They came prepared, and they locked in a payment in lieu of taxes revenue and a state grant dedicated to water infrastructure. Elsewhere, the same industry has built and gifted entire water treatment plants to the towns that hosted them. And that's what a ready county captures. Now, on the other hand, Doña Ana County approved a multi-billion-dollar project in about a month. Nobody was prepared. And the fight over water and emissions has not stopped since. When you're unprepared, you get stampeded into a rushed yes or a rushed no, and you leave the real benefits on the table. I'll be honest about where I stand. I think this county can host a data center reliably, and I think if we can host a data center reliably, we should consider it in light of the benefits it may offer. I would rather help shape one on our terms than miss it, or agree to terms that fail to capture full benefit, or fail to negate full harm. I also know that I am prone to confirmation bias, and so is everyone in this room, on both sides. I've heard a lot of information, a lot of misinformation. I'm not going to claim to be an expert on data centers, but I can say that some of the things I've heard, even in this room tonight, are fallacious. A public, balanced committee is how we protect each other from our own certainty. And this isn't data centers as villain or savior. It's a partnership. And a partnership is impossible when everyone's already dug in. Here's what it looks like. A major tech company is already funding leak detection across Farmington's water lines, a project the city expects to save hundreds of millions of gallons a year. That happened because someone was at that table. So my ask is specific. Form the committee now. Make it genuinely balanced. Utility engineers and hydrologists, not just advocates and not just opponents, plus any residents nearest that site. Publish everything. Be transparent. And set our standards in advance. Water, ratepayer protection, closure bonding, real permanent jobs, environmental impact. Let's get ahead of this in the open so we can decide with a purpose. Thank you.
My name is Steve Rogers. I'm a resident at County Road 5251. I've been there 42 years. I would like to address the 5500 issue from another perspective. I'm a professional truck driver. I haul fuel in San Juan County. The unprofessional actions that I have seen on 5500 by countless companies, both local and out of state, display that their professionalism is lacking. And they're dangerous. They come off of the hill from Nappy down to San Juan to turn off there on 5500. Your brakes are hot if you're a loaded truck. You can't stop from 65 miles an hour down to a complete stop and then turn and have brakes that will instantly respond to you while you're traveling. I've seen these guys pass me. I could name companies that do this, FedEx being one of them, M&R Trucking, another one. Some of the other local companies, these drivers are displaying unprofessionalism. They're passing on a double yellow line. There's 400 feet, according to Google Earth Maps, difference in the route on 5500 and going into Bloomfield, turning left, and going on a highway that has 3 lanes so that you can move around and avoid slow vehicles, or you can stay in a slow lane. But it's a very dangerous situation that we have out there. If somebody's going to get killed out there, I'll guarantee you that. I will give kudos to the San Juan County Sheriff's Department. They are out there. They are trying to slow vehicles down, and they're issuing tickets. They've put out a sign that says, "Are you in a hurry? Don't break the speed limit." That's a good thing. That's a great idea. The mailboxes are dangerous. I go to get out and get my mail. I open the door, and it's about 8 inches from the pavement where those trucks are going by, and cars at 70 and 80 miles an hour. That happens every week. And I just kind of want to add my comments to it from the truck driver's perspective. It's better to go on into Bloomfield and turn and use 64. And it will always be better because that highway was designed for a volume of traffic, and it's a great idea. It needed to be done when it was done. 5500 is a danger. I love living out there. I don't want to move. I don't want my wife and I, we're almost retired, not quite. But we would like to see it stay a safe place. And I agree with Carol Clore. It was a great place to move when 42 years ago we were there. Thank you guys for your time. Appreciate it. Thank you.
My name is Candy Lynn Christensen Lemoyne. I live in Farmington. I'm here to speak about AI data centers. I appreciate each and every one of you for serving San Juan County. I was the volunteer coordinator, the mayor's volunteer partners coordinator for the city of Farmington. I worked for the city of Farmington for 26 years. I loved my job, and I love my community. I have 1 daughter, 4 grandchildren, and 5 great-grandchildren. 3 of my granddaughters live here, and 3 of my great-grandchildren live here. I want to see them have a future. Water has a heartbeat, and we're losing it. If you travel to Durango and go over Wolf Creek Pass, the trees are screaming. I can hear them screaming because they're dying, and they bring us water. So I don't know what we're going to do about this climate situation, but it is getting bad. And AI data centers, I want you to do a full cost-benefit analysis to include the environment, to include future generations. And what we do here, we have lived here a long time. My grandfather was born near the confluence in a log cabin, 1901, Don H. Homer Steele. My great-grandparents came in here at the behest of President Snow with that Mormon migration. So I'm very appreciative of my community. I hope I can help serve on any commission that you elect to do. And I appreciate your service. Just please, Aaron Brockovich is even on the case with this. Just Aaron Brockovich, data centers. Yeah, all you gotta do is Google that. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your service.
Thank you, Commissioners, for your time. My name is Judith Johnson. I live in Farmington, New Mexico. I'm a retired school district teacher from Farmington School Districts. Though I have followed the news concerning data centers over the last years, I have recently begun to educate myself on the impact of data centers and what the impact could be in San Juan County, both positive and negative. I have learned enough to know that the decision to proceed with data centers will require rigorous review. Nationally, we are in a climate where investors and developers exert extreme pressure on government entities to act quickly. However, due diligence should be our first priority. I have emailed you the written comments that I'm making today with links to citations for the comments that I'm going to make. So at your review, please feel free to look at that. It's in your email. Donna Ana County and the Project Jupiter developers are embroiled in lawsuits over the lack of transparency and incomplete permitting applications after their rush through approval of the project. Much of the original proposals concerning securing energy and water resources have already shifted and changed. Quoting State Representative Michaela Condena, who attended the meeting where the county voted to approve an industrial bond, she said, "I, like so many of my constituents that I represent, were surprised to see that our county commission here in Dona Ana was taking a high $165 billion industrial revenue bond vote on a proposal that we knew less than a month about." And again, there are citations in your email. In Socorro, New Mexico, a letter of intent was signed by the Green Data Center Corporation, James Back, as the CEO. He represented his company as having developed several data centers to bring cutting-edge technology to address water scarcity. His website states that he is actively building data centers in New Mexico, which he is not. His cutting-edge technology was to address water scarcity by the ability to secure water from the atmosphere. A letter of intent was signed with his corporation. And again, the citations are available to you. The impact of technologies that are being developed and deployed at record speed can only be fully understood in time. Just last week, it was reported by the Cheyenne, Wyoming Board of Public Utilities that they would no longer accept the wastewater for secondary use from the Meadow Data Center in Cheyenne. The center uses a closed-loop technology, but there's contamination that has been found. Again, citations. Data center development has an inherent pressure and a rush in order to provide economic development. But I would like you to take these considerations, and I guess at this point, I hope that you read my email for more information and considerations I'd like you to take. Thank you.
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Kyla Johnson. I'm a retired educator. I'm also a veteran, and I've been in this area for 40 plus years now. And I'd like to speak against data centers. I am going to try not to get emotional because I don't think emotion persuades people. Sometimes, yes, but I've been, I came into this kind of feeling emotional about a lot of things over the last year or so, but then I said, come on, you're a retired librarian, look at the facts. So I've been looking at facts, and I thank my colleague, Judy, who I'm not related to, even though we have the same last name, but I've been trying to look at facts and things like that and saying, show me the facts, because there is so much misinformation out there. And one of the things I was reading this weekend from the Wall Street Journal, which is one of the most conservative newspapers around that I subscribe to, and they were talking about the hidden cost of the water usage. Because before you even get to the water that the actual data centers use, they were talking about there is the front end water usage that is being used to power the electricity that goes to the data center to power the data centers. So from where they're getting their electricity to run them, there is that hidden cost of water that powers the electricity that runs the data centers. And they were saying that that's not included in their cost proposals that they give to the communities, and it's up to 30 times more than the usage of water that the data center actually uses in itself. There's up to 30 times more, and this is from the Wall Street Journal. I think is a pretty reliable source, and that article came out this weekend. And then I was reading today in Source, New Mexico, about the water agreement that we all are a part of, the upper basin of the Colorado River Compact, which we all know San Juan River water usage, and we all know what a hot topic water agreements are in this area. In the lower basin of the Colorado, and it's still ongoing, and there is the 3 tribal entities that are about to exert their use, and they're waiting for the federal government to agree for the usage as they put forth to take their fair use of the upper basin and the lower basement and how that's going to work. And that, of course, is going to affect us here because that hasn't been properly exercised, their rights to that, which is going to affect, in turn, the San Juan use and their rights there. And that hasn't been exercised before. And it's just been kind of glossed over. And so we have a shortage of water. We all agree we have been in a drought. And anybody who walks Berg Park, as I do on a fairly daily basis, can see that you can walk across it right now. And the Animas River, we have a water shortage. I don't think we should be doing anything that is going to use more water right now. That's just speaking in a factual manner. And I don't think we are going to get any more water anytime soon. For whatever reason, we don't have to get into the politics of it. We just don't have water. So that's all there is to it. Thank you.
Captain, Chair, Commissioners, thank you for giving us the opportunity to voice our concerns. We are members of the West Hammond community.
What is your name?
I apologize. Dorothy North is my name. I don't know where people or who are sets the speed limits on residential areas. Up until after you pass the bridge is 35 miles an hour. From there to 550 is 50 miles an hour. Maybe if they were lower the speed limit, these trucks would not be coming through there. Our deer population is being wiped out. The school buses during the school year, I've seen it too many times where there's going to be a bad accident out there. We have on both ends of the road, we have signs that say engine brakes prohibited in the residential area. One of our neighbors is a truck driver and he refuses to go by that law. For a half a mile coming out either side, he uses that Jake brake either any time of day or night. We have reported it before and we were told that the DOT has to be there to witness it. I don't know what else to do. It's a nuisance and I know that he has a job to do as well, but he doesn't need to wake up the whole neighborhood. It's posted. I don't know who can enforce that. I appreciate you listening to our concerns. Used to be a really nice neighborhood, but right now it isn't. There's so much traffic, you have to wait some time to get off your county road to the highway. I appreciate your time and thank you for listening to us.
Good evening. Yate, everyone. Hello. My name is Tisa Bernali. She'e Tisa Bernali and Ishya just initially. Ki ani bashchin ishihi edashache auto ishihi edashanala amanashle. And I am of the Dene tribe. My name is Tisa. My clans are Mountain Cove. My father is Kiani, Towering House. Both my paternal and maternal grandfathers are Salt Clan. And I'm a mother. I'm not a grandmother yet, and I'm a mother of 5 children. I'm also a social worker. I've been a professional in the Four Corners area, primarily for the last 15 years, doing a lot of what was just discussed earlier, working in the community. I'm also an activist. I'm a member of the American Indian Movement, Dene Women, and I do a lot of advocacy in my community, grassroots. I'm not paid for doing that. So I want to say thank you for having me speak to Shinata or Natani, the leaders up here, about the data centers. I'm here on that platform today specifically to talk to you about the importance of our water. Our twa means water is life. Mene Wachoni means the same thing. As a Dene woman, this is my territory here. Before colonization, this is where my people lived, in this area of Aztec, Farmington, so-called Bloomfield. As a little girl, my mom told me, take care of that water, take care of the land. Those were things that were instilled in me as a young woman. And I have lived the history. I am 52 years old of resource colonialism. And I have seen the destruction these corporate companies come into our communities and what they do to our people, our land, our four-legged, our winged ones, and our botany. So I'm here. I'm not going to give you statistics or facts. I'm educated. I can email that to you if you want me to. I'm here to talk about the significance of our water. That water is a living entity. We are taught to pray to it. Every day we do offerings. I was here when the Gold King mine spill happened, and I remember how it impacted our farmers down in Shiprock, where they couldn't plant their heirlooms, their seeds for 2 or 3 years because that water was tainted. We are living in a time where we don't have water. We have prophecies from our indigenous elders that say, when these resources, it is not a resource, are used, we won't have any more. So I am here to speak for the water, the land, and these data centers that are coming into our communities. You know, I just came from a conference over at San Juan College, a plant teaching on the importance of these plants that grow on our Mother Earth, Nihamastan, and how special they are to us, and they give us life. So I implore you to understand from the heart that the water is not for sale. It has never been. And these corporate entities that come in here see it as profit. To us, it is our life. It sustains us in our ceremonies and what we do. So I'll stop there, but thank you for listening to me. My time is up. Yeah.
Hello, my name is Trip Gomez. I live in Aztec, and at first and foremost want to thank everybody who has come up and spoke before me and those who are lined up to speak after me to do their civic participation. And I also want to thank the council members for listening to all of us and our worries and plights. When it comes to data centers, I think it's a giant nuanced conversation. What Candy said is true. There is an algorithm right now that's helping save Farmington gallons of water per year. And so it is very big idea that government moves like an iceberg intentionally to make sure things are done right the first time. And I'm just hoping to implore all the fellow citizens here and in the county abroad to do the due diligence that is needed to make sure that if we are to have something of this industry come in, that it is legitimately to the benefit of our community. A lot of stipulation right now, a lot of the reason that the data centers are booming in construction is because there is language in the Big Beautiful Bill that offers a rebate for those when they are in full effect. There is a lot of speculation as to why that language is in there that I'm not going to go down on today, but I do want to say that we as a community can come together in all the various aspects that are needed to make sure that what happens here in our land benefits us to the best of our abilities. But that is an active communication, that is a big discussion. It's a large table that many people have to come to in good faith to have that discussion about. I believe that the people who spoke today are very passionate about the understandings that we want our future generations, our livelihoods to be maintained and thought about throughout, through a long course of action instead of short order. And so when big companies coming into town offering us big dollar signs for the short-term effects, I just think that it behooves the council, the commissioners here, as well as in the cities and on the state level, to really fully consider the impacts throughout and not just look at the big flashy ticket items that are being proposed. Of course, this means that we have hopefully a lot of people participating in this conversation together to make sure that San Juan County's future is as bright as it possibly can be. Thank you for your time and have a great day.
Good evening. My name is Jody Moore. I live in the fentanyl and meth corridor of Farmington, New Mexico. This area is also called District 1 or the Animus corridor of Farmington. I'm here today to invite all of you guys and all the people here in the audience. The city of Farmington is hosting a community listening and action session on July 30th at 5:30 p.m. At this meeting, we are going to, I'll just read what they wrote in their page here that I'd like to give to Joe. We know our local businesses and residents are dealing with serious daily challenges regarding public intoxication, street inebriation, drug activity, and vandalism and safety issues that come with them. We need everybody on board. We have a serious fentanyl and meth problem, I believe, in the Four Corners, not just San Juan County. Montezuma County, Sheriff Nallen's been dealing with it. Monticello recently busted somebody with like 78 pounds of meth. My neighbor was busted with over 6 pounds of fentanyl and meth. I believe she was let out in 2 days. It's been a nightmare. For the last 5 years, her boyfriend later got charged with like 12 felony charges and was let off in a couple days. We've got the incoming sheriff, Ken Christensen, is on board with all of this. We had meetings down at Pancake Alley to try to address the problems, but the city's solution has been to lock the public restrooms. That's also been the Speedway gas station solutions, lock up their public restrooms. So we have street folks using, and not just street folks, customers at the Speedway using the Connex box for a restroom. So imagine how terrible that is on our tourism, that you go to the Speedway down on Broadway, and not only are people being killed, but you also have piles of, you know, how do you say it nicely? You know, understand, human waste. There we go, I'll be nice. Human waste on the street. So we want to get those restrooms open. We would also like drinking water dispensers for everybody to use. We need those at the library and every city park. So thank you for your time. I also love the timing. It seems like in Farmington, although we have 3 minutes, it seems like they're kind of sick of us after about 30 seconds. So I appreciate the fact that you guys are awesome. Keep doing the great work and come to the meeting. We need you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Megan Shea. I'm a resident of Farmington, New Mexico. I'm here speaking about the data centers, and I want to admit that I'm actually here to thank you for your prayer when you opened the meeting, because I came in here with a heavy heart reading the news. You get really concerned, but to be reminded that our community really understands the importance of water to support us really buoyed my spirit, and I appreciate that. Saying the prayer also reminded me, I've got a little one at home. He recently asked me for a new toy, and I said, you don't take care of your toys. I'm not going to get you a new toy. And he said, I'll take care of this one. It's like, I wouldn't be a good mom if I gave in to that every time. And so I just really appreciate what the public has said about opening exploratory committees, considering memorandums, everything like that. My concern with these data centers is they need a lot of water, and we don't have a lot of water. So why do they want to come here? And I have a fear that they have the economic and legal might to take our water. And so I really appreciated the comments that the public had to work on that. Thank you so much for your time. Good evening, commissioners. My name is Yael Oliva. I'm a mental health therapist here in Farmington. I'd like to talk about a couple of issues that everyone has talked about tonight, but I would like to add my voice. I saw serious looks on your guys' faces, and I hope that if you haven't been thinking about these data centers, that it's going to be a focus for you. I don't know what the right answer is. I'm not that smart. I don't understand all the technology. I don't understand what's possible. I also believe that AI is here to stay. Let's just be real. Everybody's using it. It's used for good reasons and bad reasons. Please, please, please don't destroy our community and our land in the process. Please be transparent, include the community, and allow us to go forward in a way that is the least damaging and the most beneficial possible. You guys are entrusted with the future. And I just am begging that you include us and you do your due diligence on this matter. I can't say anything better than anyone else here has already said tonight, except just to ask you guys that. I also just want to say my office is on West Apache. I'm very familiar with a lot of the problems with unsheltered folks and what's going on in the community. And I also support this initiative to please get water fountains and restrooms. They're human beings. At the very end of the day, they are human beings, and there, but for the grace of God, go any of us. And I would really like to see us support them in this way. Thank you.
Stephen Shelby.
I'm raised out of Farmington, New Mexico. Thank you all for letting us speak. One thing I did want to touch base on just right quick is when we're talking to council at Farmington, they're up here, and I have to look up at them like I'm having to address a king or to address someone that's higher or above me. Thank you guys for being on my level, being on our level. That instantly gives a person a less intimidating aura to come up with to speak with you guys, because it's hard for a lot of these people to come up to speak. You can tell. I want to commend everybody that's came in and speak. I know some of y'all have a hard time with that, so thank you for doing that. Y'all, we've got a lot of information regarding the data centers that's coming in. Farmington resident, San Juan County, my whole life. My family, which is the Shelby family, one of the first families to settle in Farmington, New Mexico, or to come into San Juan County. So we got a lot of blood and skin in the game, a lot of years here. I love this place. It is absolutely unbelievable and special. If you go take time and you go set into the desert and you go dry camping for a couple days and you listen to the coyotes howl and you listen to the wind through the trees and you put your feet in the dirt, you will truly understand how important this land is to a lot of us. Just some background, guys. Oil and gas industry. I raised a family on oil and gas. I understand closed loop, what closed loop means. Did a lot of work with BLM guys, fixing a lot of wells that were doing a lot of damage to our water system. So we know that things happen sometimes, even though we're trying to do good and bring our economy up. There's gonna be things that get by and that did get by for many, many years that I'm sure we're still working on. But I was a part of that process of fixing those issues as well. So I'm fully versed on the oil field, closed loop systems, and everything else that they want to say about data centers. To get to a different point, guys, anytime the federal government tells us that we need to do something or that they're gonna put a law in order to do something, executive orders, which are against the law, as we know, that raises a red flag for me. So I'm gonna come at these at a different perspective, not that I disagree with everyone's perspective, because I do agree with y'all's perspective on things. Why are they pushing us to build data centers? Why is the federal government pushing to build data centers? What that does when he pushes to build them on federal property, that puts a real push on our counties and our local government to maybe perhaps push data centers in before the federal government does. You guys, we don't need any more surveillance or anything else proposed by the government. Now, I know they say this is for data reasons and the data gathering. Okay, that's fine. We have data centers. We have ways of gathering data. We've been doing it for years. Why do we have to keep going and upgrading data? How much data do we need to operate as a society, you guys? Honestly, we don't need AI to operate as a society. We have the tools as human beings to operate as a society. So I will ask you all moving forward, please consider what I'm saying and everybody else. As we move forward, I will raise a petition to ban data centers in the county. So that's coming too. But again, y'all, I love my county. I love my people. This place is special. We know it's special. As the young lady had said, guys, there's a lot of culture here, and we can't forget about that culture. It's a mix of cultures. We have Mexicans, we have whites, we have Dene, we have everybody. Everyone's here, guys. We have to learn to get together. I love your stones. We can do this if we work together. Please be transparent with us, guys. That's all I'm asking moving forward. Transparency. Thank you for what you're doing, and I look forward for more dialogue with you going forward. Thank you.
Is there anyone else? Okay, moving forward to the rest of our meeting. I'd like to hear from Sandra, going into closed session.
Motion to go into closed session. I move that we go into closed executive session pursuant to sections 10-15-1, H, 7, and 8 to discuss the possible acquisition of real property for the Pinion Hills Extension Project and to discuss matters pertaining to litigation related to the movement of Sunray Western Gaming Racino license to Clovis, New Mexico.
Right.
Second?
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Going into closed session. It's coming out of closed session.
Yep, I move that we go out of closed session and go back into open session.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any opposed? No.
All right, we have
Motion
returned from
carried.
closed session. The matters discussed in the closed session were limited to those specified in the motion for closure.
All right. Meeting's adjourned.
Hey.